Well, let's see. Stephenville gets to play defense first, and I know our Steve Ross is down on the sideline. Let's go down to Steve before we kick this thing off. Steve-O?
Yeah, guys. It's I'd characterize it as a subdued sideline. You know, they're obviously excited. It's the third round of the playoffs, the fourth round of the playoffs, whatever it is. I lose track. I've been to Texas Stadium so much.
Really?
But it seems like the players have taken a very business-like, resolved approach to this. We'll see how it plays out as the opening kick's about to go.
All righty, Steve Ross, appreciate that.
Boy, you can hear the roar of the Can fans pick up boots as Steve was talking to us. Boy, these Can fans are ready to work too. You know, it's kind of a quiet, subdued night for the Can fans last week. It was so frustrating. There was no continuity. I know these fans are ready to work, and I know the players are too.
Starting quarterback Anthony May is back deep, stands at his goal line as Ryan Harris will be in to kick for Stephenville. Expect the deep kick with Harris. Stephenville going from right to left, and the kick is away. High end over end kick, not quite as well as he would have wanted to kick it. It comes to the 15, return across the 20, up to the 25, outside to the 30, and run out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Making the return was Matt Thompson for the Eagles. They'll begin 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Well, 22-yard return there for Canyon, and a good start as they get pretty good field position. That's about where it usually is if you do the squid kick or if you kick deep as Ryan did. And I think you're right. I think he got under that one just a little bit.
What is our pet peeve in broadcasting when it comes to opponents' jersey numbers?
Well, the ones you can't see.
Because they're so small.
Yeah.
Boy, this is going to be a nightmare. Anthony May is under center. Two backs behind him offset. Andrews and Medean are the backs. One receiver, now two split. Running the option is May. May cuts up. He'll get 2 yards out to the 34-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Monk in on the tackle very quickly. As we told you, May and Cleet Andrews, number 32. Those are the two guys that are going to get the ball in crunch time. Medean, number 29, the tailback. A little smaller, 5'9", 170. He doesn't carry quite a big a punch or package there, so you can bet that they're going to go with Cleet Andrews or Andrew May, and sure enough, they start off with May and running.
Just underway here in the Bank of America first quarter. No score, Stephenville and Canyon. First series of the game for Canyon. Play action rolling to the near side is May. May looking downfield is in some trouble. He'll tuck it under and try to run across the 30, 34, and out of bounds near the 35-yard line. It'll spin on the spot where they give him.
He didn't get much, if anything.
They will spot him at the 35-yard line, so credit him with 1 yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles.
Good defensive work that time, Boots, by Harmon and Scott Lee. Scott Lee got a little more penetration than Harmon. Harmon double teamed that time, but they really strung that out, and May never really had any place to go.
3rd and 7 for the Eagles at their own 35-yard line. They must get to the 42 of their own. Split receivers to both sides. I formation now with Andrews at the fullback, Medean at the tail. May again is under center. May giving to the fullback. Andrews will get to the 40-yard line, and that will be it. A gain of 5 on the play. It'll set up 4th down and 2, and you would expect the Eagles to be forced to punt.
Well, you know you're playing West Texas football when it's 3rd and 7, and you run right behind the center. And that's called the belly, and that's exactly what they did there. And of course, he got 5 of it. Coach Briles told you during the pregame interview that we wanted to go 3 and out with them, 3 and out, and that's exactly what they did to start the game. That's good for the defense.
Back deep are Phelps and Briles for Stephenville. Snap back. Punt is away from Turner. Kick will be taken by Briles at the 30-yard line. He fair catches. The kick goes 30 yards, and Stephenville will begin 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line. This is a Canyon defense coming up that has given up no more than 23 points in any game this year, now in the 14th game of the season.
That is impressive. They're big and strong, and they run that split 4. But I think Stephenville's going to maybe show them something they haven't seen a whole lot of. However, they did see a wide-open offense with Hereford. And by the way, we have some scores from Division I. We'll pass those along to you here in just a moment.
Split receivers to the far side. Briles is under center. One back behind him. Play action. Briles rolling to the far side. Setting up, looking to throw. Has Hunter. Hunter makes the catch and then is knocked off his feet at the 33-yard line. A gain of about 2 on the play, maybe 3. Short reception of 3 yards. Set 2nd down and 7 for Stephenville.
Those Division I scores, speaking of Hereford, they're still playing in the semifinals. They defeat Waco Midway today, 32-17. In the other side of that bracket, boy, state-ranked Texas City all over Alice, 45-0. Texas City won state championship, what, 97? looks like they may be on mark to win another one this year.
9:46 and counting in the Bank of America first quarter. Briles running the option, will pitch out to Hunter. Hunter trying to get to the corner. He'll be dragged down at the 31-yard line. A loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10. And, well, we've seen that Canyon is pretty big up front, but they're also pretty quick sideline to sideline.
You're exactly right. And making that tackle, Chad Dietz is a sophomore. He wasn't even slated as a starter. He comes in and makes a big play. A loss of 3, as you said, brings up 3rd and 10.
3 receivers to the far side. Canyon is not adjusted yet. Finally, they do. 2 receivers to the near side. Briles is in shotgun. 3rd down and 10. Setting up is Briles. Looking to throw. Throwing a deep ball across the middle. Caught by O'Neal at the 45. 1st down and close to midfield. Spotted at the 48-yard line. A gain of 18 on the play. Make it 17. 1st and 10 for Stephenville at that point.
Well, and you're exactly right. You said they didn't adjust over. The guy in the slot, he looked like maybe they had him set up as a spy on Kendal, because was it Robinson? Yeah, he was just honed in on Kendal out there on the wing. He's doing that once again.
Briles pitch to the far side. Hunter cuts up and then takes to the outside. 45, inside down to the 41-yard line and close to a 1st down in Canyon territory. It will be enough for the 1st. Call it 11 on the gain. 1st and 10, Stephenville.
And was that 11 on the tackle? Man, I can't tell. I'm sorry. That was a very good tackle, by the way, whoever it was. We're a long ways away from that to be.
It is out on the flats. That is Brad Hickman, junior defensive back. Colt Melton splits out in front of him. 1 receiver to the near side. Briles is in shotgun with Hunter standing next to him. Matkins comes in motion the near side. Ball is fumbled momentarily by Briles. He's in a bunch of trouble, and he'll be thrown down for a loss all the way back at the 50-yard line. Fumbleitis, we saw it last week a lot of after the loss of 10 on that play. Briles that time, it almost looked like he was startled to get the snap in shotgun. It hit him right in the chest. He fumbled it momentarily. Once he got control of the ball, Canyon was on top of him. Drew Martinez making the stop. It'll now be 2nd down and 19 for the Jackets.
Yeah, the ball never did hit the turf. You're exactly right, though. He did look startled. Big 2nd down.
Briles in shotgun again with Hunter standing next to him, who now comes in motion to the near side. Briles setting up, looking to throw. Throwing the deep ball. Has Avalos. It's over his head at about the 10-yard line. Avalos was on a post to the middle of the field, and that ball was thrown a little bit to his outside shoulder. Couldn't quite make the adjustment. 3rd down and 19 for Stephenville at the 50-yard line.
Nice strong pass by Kendal, man. He must be a little pumped up down there, but yeah, you're exactly right. I don't know if Kendal threw it too far or Avalos cut off the route, but it did look like he was running the post there, and he threw it out by the numerals, really.
Yeah, Briles let that one go about 50 yards. Trips to the far side, twins to the near side. Once again, Briles is in shotgun. Snap back to him, setting up. Looking to run, and he will. Briles will come to the near side, will make a move, get to the 50-yard line, and he will be stopped right there. Good support as far as the defensive backs of Canyon to support on the look like what was a quarterback draw all the way from shotgun. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 18, and do you send O'Neal out there with the punt squad? You do.
Oh, yeah.
Try to keep Canyon deep and wait for a better opportunity at a score.
Well, this is interesting. Number 8, Matt Allen or Chad Dietz. I guess it would be Matt Allen, the junior that's making all those plays. He's not even on the list of starters. Already made some big plays.
It's a shank punt from O'Neal that hits at the 30, rolls backwards, and goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Only a 19-yard punt from O'Neal, who just shanked that one right off the side of his foot. And so there goes your idea on trying to pin him deep. Not a good punt at all for O'Neal. Matt Allen is one of the starting cornerbacks.
Yeah, they did move, and he's made some great plays already, and he is the return man as well.
And that's about where Canyon started their previous drive on the last series at around the 31-yard line. 7:58 to go in the Bank of America first quarter. 0-0 our score, Stephenville and Canyon. 2nd drive of the game coming up for the Canyon Eagles. May has him under center, 2 backs behind him in the eye. Split receivers to both sides as Thompson goes in motion to the far side. Coming in the near side, running the reverse to the near side, to the 25, trying to get to outside, 30, 35, a cut back, and is tackled immediately. Was it Fanning? It was Jesse Fanning making the tackle. Nathan Stevens The wide receiver on the opposite side took the reverse, a gain of about 3.5, 4 yards as he spotted right at the 35-yard line, a gain of 4 on the reverse. 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Eagles.
Great defense there by Stephenville just to string that out until they get some help. And that was a lot of running for a very little gain.
May again under center, I formation behind him. Medallion is at the tail. Medallion will take the handoff straight up the middle. He'll be pounded at about the 38-yard line. A gain of about 3. It'll set up 3rd down and a true 3 needed for the Canyon Eagles. And boy, as we talked about in pregame, Johnny, Canyon very, very conservative. Even though they ran the reverse while ago, never at any point did you feel alarmed while that was going on.
No, and if they go on 3rd and 7, they go behind the center. You got to figure on 3rd and 3, they'll do the same thing. So be ready in the middle.
I formation again behind May under center. The fullback is Andrews. The ball is fumbled. Having to go back and get it is May. He'll be tackled at the 36-yard line. A loss of 2. It'll be 4th down and about 4 to 5, and I'm sure the Eagles will be forced to punt.
Oh, that's a huge play right there. Looked like they were going to try to set something out around the top side there, Boots, their left side. And looked to me like May he left a little early, didn't get the ball.
To give you an example how conservative the offense is for Canyon, last week in their game, the win over Wichita Falls, they had 168 total yards in the game, 9 first downs, and only threw the ball 6 times and completed 2 of them, and still won the football game. That is Canyon football. Punt back to Briles, taken at the 30. He makes the fair catch right there, 33 yards on the kick, and Stephenville takes over 1st and 10, their own 30 at the 6:03 mark of the Bank of America first quarter. 0-0 our score. Stephenville now with their 2nd drive starting in the game.
Well, and Stephenville gets the ball right about the same place they had it.
And so far, this is right into the hands of what Canyon loves to do, keep the game between the 30s and keep punting back and forth.
Yeah, until hopefully you can put together a drive that you can go down and score on. That's their thinking.
1st and 10 for the Jackets. Out at the 31 is the actual spot. Briles is under center, one back behind him. Taking the pitch to the near side is Hunter. Hunter will try to get to the corner, gets the 31, out to the 32, 33, the 34-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds. A gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 7 upcoming.
I think it's safe to say Matt Allen, the junior corner on the what is the left side of the offense, right side of the defense, is obviously got some speed, and they're not going to get outside of him.
5'11", 170-pound junior is Allen. Now trips to the far side, one receiver near side. Briles is in shotgun with Hunter standing next to him. Jackets will the no-huddle look as Briles will audibilize at the line of scrimmage. Snap back to him, throwing out in the flats for Mackins. Mackins cannot make the catch as it one-hops him. Not a good throw from Briles, who Mackins had to go to a knee almost to try to pick up the ball. Had a couple blocks in front of him. All for naught. 3rd down and 7.
Well, he did. He did have a couple of blocks, and as you said, just a one-hopper over to Matkins, and he had to go down to the knee to catch the ball, and it was forward, so no lateral incomplete pass.
3rd and 7 for the Jackets. Twins to the far side, one receiver near side. O'Neal is at a tight end on the right side with Briles in shotgun. Hunter standing next to him. Snap back to Briles. Play action. Throwing across the middle. Has O'Neal caught. 45, 50, 45. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Canyon. O'Neal has had 2 big grabs already in the ball game.
Both catches leading to first downs. The only 2 first downs in the game by either team. And, yeah, they just brought that crossing pattern. And the guy trying to keep up with O'Neal's not having a whole lot of luck for Canyon. They're going to have to make some adjustments on that. Credit Bashaw for clearing out that side of the defense as he went long on the post.
22 yards on the reception. 2 catches now, 39 yards for O'Neal. Briles again in shotgun. Trips to the far side. 2 receivers near side. Straight drop for Briles. Going across the middle. Has Bashaw open. Great catch. 25 down to the 24-yard line. He's taken off his feet by Matt Allen. 1st and 10 for the Jackets at the 24-yard line of Canyon. Another great strike from Briles to a receiver.
Boy, you said it. Great catch by Josh as he had to go up high to catch it and caught it with his hands. Man, that's what you want to see your receivers do. And a great strike from Kendal. He just ran that, I guess, kind of call that the skinny post, I guess.
Sure. 4 out of 6, 62 yards for Briles right now. 1st and 10 at the 24 of Canyon. Briles this time is under center. Pitch to the near side. Hunter this time cuts it inside. 20, 15, gets down to the 9-yard line before he's stopped. I thought for a second Zach may break it. One guy cut an ankle, tripped him up at the 10. 15 yards on the carry for Hunter. First and goal to go just inside the 10-yard line of Kenyon for Stephenville. 5:27 to go here in the Bank of America first quarter. 0-0 our score.
Now they move it right back on the 10-yard line, so it is first and goal as far as you can be. Great block by Derek Haney, by the way. Man, what a great kick-out block.
Briles under center. This time Walker's in the backfield. Play action. Briles rolling out. Has O'Neal open in the end zone. Just over his head. He was wide open, and Briles jumps in the air. And
he knew it. He should have had it.
Oh, he was so close because O'Neal was wide open in the end zone. Just floated it a little over his head. And O'Neal, who goes 6'4", went high in the air to try to bring that one down, and it was still over the top of his outstretched fingertips.
Kendal knows that's one he should have had right there.
Boy, that's one you got to go back to because he was wide open.
Stephenville put together a pretty good drive here, one that started at their own 31-yard line. You'd like to see them go ahead and get 7. They're obviously an even Nelson field goal range.
Trips to the far side, one to the near side. Briles is under center with a wingback is Hunter. Throwing out in the flats. This time Matkins makes the catch. A move to the 10. 5, touchdown Jeremy Matkins. 10 yards on the strike from Briles to Matkins. Stephenville scores first. 6-0 at the Bank of America. 5:04 mark. Extra point upcoming.
Man, how pretty was the blocking out there on the outside. Was it Toby? I think it was Toby O'Neal that got one of them. And all Jeremy had to do is catch the ball and just walk into the end zone. Just a great play. Good pass by Briles. Great catch by Jeremy as he had to go up high to get it.
Eben Nelson getting set now for the extra point. Petronas will have the hold. Doty will have the snap. Snap back, hold down. Nelson's kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good with 5:04 to go in the Bank of America first quarter.
Stephenville for Domino's Pizza.
Welcome back, Texas Stadium. Stephenville 7, Canyon nothing. Johnny, the last scoring drive?
Well, 7 plays. It only took 59 seconds. They go 69 yards. Matkins, that 10-yard pass from Briles, PAT by Nelson was good. That makes the score 7-0. The scoring summary brought to you by Lupus.
Harris end-over-end kick will be taken at the 9-yard line by Thompson. Thompson gets up to about the 20, 25, makes one man miss, but not the rest of the Jacket crew as they swarm under him. On top of him at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Canyon Eagles.
Boots, with that first score, a generous donation has been made to Erath County Meals on Wheels by Scott Osman, attorney at law. We appreciate him for that.
The 5 possessions in this game for all teams have either started at the 31 or the 32-yard line.
How about that?
This one is at the 31-yard line officially for Canyon. Maturity showing. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. May is under center, I formation behind him. Split receivers both sides, giving inside to Cleet Andrews. The fullback will go forward to the, Cleet Andrews goes forward to the 34-yard line, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 4:43 and counting here in the Bank of America first quarter. Stephenville 7, Canyon nothing.
Well, as you said, about 4.5 minutes, a little less than 4.5 minutes when they snapped the ball, and Canyon on the 2 possessions unable so far to make a first down. Stephenville defense has done exactly what Coach Briles wanted.
2 receivers to the near side. Again, I formation with Medallion at the tail. May under center. Senior quarterback. Play action, setting up, looking to throw, in some trouble. Craig Park sacks him all the way back at the 27-yard line. A gloss of about 7.
Yep, 7 yards. Great penetration there. It looked like he was going to have some time, and then all of a sudden the blocking broke down, and Craig was just the first one there. There was other guys that came piling in, and, man, just a great speed from Craig Parks as he just got across the line of scrimmage, dumped to May for that 7-yard loss.
Okay, I'm calling King's X on any hexes I might be about to do with this comment, but don't you feel a little different right now than you did at the beginning of the game last week?
You think?
3rd down and 14. Straight drop from May. Throwing on the far flats. Has a receiver, but good coverage by Scott, and the ball's thrown out of bounds. Incomplete. Intended receiver.
There's a guy in a white jersey. We can't see his number.
Boy, those numbers are a long ways away. I'll call it Matt Stevens out there on the flats, and it will set up 4th down and 14. Coming up for the Eagles, and having to punt is Derek Turner, and he'll stand at about his own 12-yard line with Briles, the lone return man. Snap back. Punt is away. End-over-end kick will be taken by Briles. No fair catch. He fumbles the football. It's picked up by Canyon, running the other way, but it is a muff, and the Eagles will get the football at the Stephenville 49-yard line. Not a very smart move by Briles that time, as he kind of misjudged it and then tried to dive at the football to catch it end over end. You probably want him to get away from that football. The turnover does cost Stephenville valuable field position, and the Eagles get the football as well at the Stephenville 49-yard line. First turnover in the game against the Jackets.
It's all your fault, Boots. You just said
I hexed him on that last play, didn't I? All right.
All your fault.
I'll take credit for that
All
one.
right.
First and 10 for the Eagles. Bail me out defense. I formation again behind May. May play action in some trouble. He'll be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Monk coming on an outside linebacker blitz. Handles May at the line of scrimmage. It's second down and 10.
Boy, I tell you, the defense is fired up. I mean, they gave up 28 points last week, and I think that hurt their pride a little bit. This is a good defense, and you know, if they can put 4 good quarters together, they can shut a team out.
Second down and 10 for the Eagles. 2 receivers this time to the far side. Andrews at the fullback at the point of the eye. It's Medean. Motion now to the near side. Running the option is May. May cuts up, finds a seam. 45 inside the 40, 35. Run out of bounds by Brady Gunn at the 28-yard line. First down, Anthony May, and a first down for the Eagles. 21 yards on the carry, and cut up inside, and the pursuit could not catch up with May.
Great blocking.
29-yard line is officially the spot where May went out of bounds. 2:37 mark of the Bank of America first quarter. Stephenville 7, Canyon Eagles nothing.
Well, and that is the first down of the ball game.
May under center, split receivers to both sides. Handoff over the left side is the tailback Medean. He'll get about a yard, maybe 2. It'll be second and 8.
Scott Lee, the first guy there to wrap him up around the ankles as Medean was trying to get outside, and there was really nothing there. Good defensive line work by the Stephenville Yellow Jackets. So far, they're winning the line of scrimmage. The only breakdown they had was that play just a moment ago for May in the first down run.
Second down and 8 for the Eagles. Stevens splits to the far side. Thompson to the near side. Once again in the eye as Thompson goes in motion to the far side. May under center, pitching back to Medean. Medean looking for somewhere to run. He cuts up at the 25 and is tackled in the open field. A great tackle made by Ryan Harris at the 25-yard line. A gain of only 2. It'll set up third down and 6.
I believe that was Monk that turned it inside, and when you turn it inside, there's got to be somebody on backside pursuit to help out, and Ryan Harris came in to make the tackle.
Third down and 6. Almost 7 needed for the Eagles. Split receivers to both sides. Once again in the eye, but now they'll break out of it. Offset eye behind May. May will send Stevens in motion to the far side. Straight drop for May. Now rolling to the side, looking to throw. Steps up across the middle. It's caught. First down at the 19-yard line.
Well, he went backwards, though.
Where are they going to spot him?
They're going to give him forward progress.
Well, I don't know. They're spotting him at the 20-yard line because once he made the catch, he ran backwards, and it's just short of the yardage needed. Yeah. Well, I want to tell you, May was very close to going across the line of scrimmage when he let that ball go.
Good point.
It is 4th and 1 coming up for the Canyon Eagles, and do they have the field goal unit in?
No,
they sure do. The kicker, that is Anthony May, who's also the quarterback, will put the tee down at the 27-yard line. A 37-yard attempt upcoming for the Eagles. Stevens has the hold. Kick on the way. It is up, and it is good. .31 seconds remaining here at the Bank of America first quarter. With the last turnover, Stephenville, as Johnny just pointed out to me during the break, is -6 this year on turnover ratio. Deep end-over-end kick that will be taken by Gunn. Stephenville will have a chance to run the starburst. Gives the ball to Phelps, who gives the ball to Hunter across the 25, 30. Makes a move outside to the 40, back to the middle, 44-yard line. I thought he was going to cut it outside. He stayed inside. The starburst return works to perfection as Gunn took the ball, handed it to Phelps, who then gave the ball to Hunter right up the middle. The 44-yard line is where Stephenville began, 1st and 10, leading 7-3.
Oh, by the way, Canyon has had the last 4 films of Stephenville. They didn't run the starburst any time in the last 4 weeks. This memo to the Canyon coaches. We run the starburst.
How about that? Don't kick it deep anymore.
Well, they got a guy that can do it every time.
Briles in shotgun. Trips to the far side, twins to the near side. Briles on a straight draw from center across the 50 out to the 49-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Actually, the 50 is the spot. Direct draw from the shotgun position, I should say. It's 2nd down and 4. Ball at the 50-yard line, and that will do it for the Bank of America first quarter. Down and 4 for the Jackets as we begin the Cook Lumber second quarter. After this play, Johnny has some first quarter stats. Split receivers to both sides. Briles is under center. 2 backs behind him. At a wing on the right side is Hunter. Mackins, inside trap handoff. No, check that. It is Briles keeping, then pitching out to Gunn. Gunn on the option gets to the 45-yard line. A gain of 5 yards, and that's just enough for the first down. Move the chains for Stephenville.
Well, that's one we hadn't seen this year. A little variation to that inside trap. First quarter stats. Stephenville 22 rushing, 72 passing for a total of 94, 5 first downs. Canyon 32 rushing, 6 passing for a total of 38 and 1 first down.
And of those 32 yards, how many of those came on that one rush? 20 yards. 1st and 10 for the Jackets at the 45 of Canyon. Briles in shotgun, throwing out to Hunter. Hunter looking for some blocks. Gets around the corner, but then is tripped up at the 43-yard line. One man out there made the stop, and it was Drew Martinez, who was fighting off a block of one of the Jacket receivers. Just got a hand out there on Hunter's foot. Only 1 yard now. They'll give him on the gain.
And the Canyon coach right in the ear of the head linesman over there, and you got to be wondering if he was saying something about that block.
The receiver's holding. I'm sure he's screaming that. 2nd down and 9 for the Jackets at the Canyon 44-yard line. 7-3 Stephenville over Canyon. 11:04 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Briles in shotgun. Play action, rolling to the near side. Has an open receiver. It's over his head. I should say it's underthrown and then knocked away. Intended receiver was Avalos. Coming over from a safety position was, I believe, Brad Hickman, number 11 defensive back. Tipped the ball away, and Stephenville was very fortunate, John. That ball was not picked off.
Yeah, I thought it was going to get picked off at the 20. Looked like O'Neill was dragging a little shorter there around the 35. Looked like he might have been open right around first down territory. But Kendal was convinced he could get it down there around the 15.
Canyon Eagle defensive backs are really dropping off a lot. Twins to the near side, twins to the far side. Briles is in shotgun. Double wingback set as Briles rolls to the near side, looking, still looking, has Mackins open, but the ball is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Mackins was open at the 33. It would have been enough for the first down, but 49, Jackson Robinson jumps up in the air and bats the ball away. So it brings up 4th down and 9, and, well, you're going to try to punt again?
Yeah, I think I'd punt here.
I have a feeling O'Neill will get away a little bit better punt than he did last time. O'Neill stands at his own 45 when he lets this one go.
He'll probably kick it to the near side.
Matt Allen is back deep. Kick is away, almost blocked. High end-over-end kick will be fair caught at the 15, but flags are down on the field.
Yeah, we have a no snap.
What was the penalty here? Waiting on the official. It was dead ball. Illegal procedure against Stephenville, so back the Jackets up again, and Stephenville was very fortunate. That punt was almost blocked.
Yeah, Canyon was fortunate because they had got a penalty for roughing the kicker, or at least running into the kicker, because they did that.
So the ball will be marched back with a penalty to the 49-yard line of Canyon. O'Neill gets ready to punt again. Matt Allen stands at about his own 15-yard line. O'Neill awaits the snap. It is a good one. No rush this time. Better kick from O'Neill will be fair caught at the 16-yard line by Allen, and that's where the Canyon Eagles begin 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line after the 33-yard punt. 10:30 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 7, Canyon 3. It's a good time to go on the sideline to Steve Ross. And Stevie, a little bit different than the last few weeks because this game kind of almost lulls you to sleep, doesn't it?
It's a lot that way, but I'll tell you, Coach Mike Copeland is happy with his defense.
Yeah, I think he should be.
They have really gotten the job done, and he congratulated all 11 of them as they came off the field. As you mentioned, only giving up one first down.
Hand off over the right side. Medallion will be stacked up at the 19-yard line. A gain of 2 on the play. It'll be second down and 8.
Was that Gilson, the first guy there?
Cal Gilson looked like he
there it is.
stepped up from his middle linebacker position. He did. Second down and 8.
Boy, that's just man on man. You see the strength of a middle linebacker, Boots. Here's the running back's been running for 7 yards, hits the line of scrimmage. The linebacker's just standing his ground. Gilson wins that battle. There's the strength of number 97.
Twins to the far side as May is under center. Now he has motion to the near side receiver. Running the option to the far side is May. May will get to the outside, hit first by Gilson, then run out of bounds by Monk at the 20. Wait on the spot, 22 or 23-yard line.
Right in between.
22 and a half. So it'll set up third down. Oh, and about 5 needed for the Eagles as the clock runs 9:34 and counting in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 7, Canyon 3, and boy, this game is flying by.
Good. It started pretty late. I'm glad, an hour and a half late. This would be a big stop here if the defense can hold them here. They get that field position back in the Stephenville favor.
Twins to the far side again. May is under center with the 2 backs behind him in I formation. Straight drop for May. Looking to throw, throwing across the middle. It's picked off by Harris. 25 to the 20, 15, tripped up at the 10-yard line. 19 yards on the interception return for Harris, and Stephenville has first and goal to go at the 10-yard line of Canyon.
Yeah, that was a sweet pick. Harmon was coming with the pressure up front, and it looked to me like May just did something he didn't want to do and threw it late over the middle.
Our pet peeve for quarterbacks.
Yeah, don't ever
Boy,
do
and
that.
Ryan Harris was just an eyelash of scoring because one of the receivers came back and dove at his feet. That's the only thing that tripped Harris up. He had nothing in front of him to the goal line except for that. First and goal to go for the Jackets at the 10-yard line. One receiver near side, also wingback as Briles is in motion, giving the ball straight ahead to Haney. Haney powers his way to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal to go from the 5.
Man, big surge by the offensive line of Stephenville. Doty, Van Hanem, Collier, and Keggins, they just pushed their way, and they pushed that defensive front 4 of Canyon back on their heels, and then Derek Haney came right up the middle.
Wouldn't surprise me if we see the same play again.
That was exactly where Stephenville was earlier. First and goal right on the 10-yard line, now second at the 5.
Briles under center, 2 backs behind him. Once again, giving the ball to Haney. Haney gets to the 2-yard line, kind of lost his feet momentarily. Didn't really get tackled per se, but got tripped up a little bit, but he does forward progress to the 2, and now it is third and goal to go for the Jackets at the 2-yard line of Canyon.
Well, do you go hammer time here, or you just keep doing what you've been doing?
Hammer time is the answer. As you see, coming into the game is Tate, Sanatsky, Haney, and Hunter.
No, they're going to spread it.
Well, they will spread it, but a bunch of big boys up front. Offset power out in the near side. Pitch to the near side is Hunter. Hunter cuts inside. Touchdown, Zach Hunter. Stephenville extends 13-3 with the extra point upcoming. And now a flag is thrown late. And this was on where all the Stephenville players were running off the field. And this may be unsportsmanlike penalty against Stephenville. Let's wait and see. The touchdown will stand. But as we learned last week, you must take this on the extra point if you accept the penalty. It is dead ball, personal foul against Stephenville.
For what?
This was late.
Coach Briles is calling the official over to say, what happened?
Referee comes over, takes to Briles. It is 13-3 at the 8:03 mark of the Cook Lumber second quarter. 15-yard penalty will be marched off against Stephenville. So the ball will be brought out to about the, 18-yard line?
Oh, yeah.
So you
17.
can make this a 35-yard extra point attempt coming up for Eben Nelson. It's probably one of the longer extra points you'll attempt of your career.
Well, he can do it. Well, they're going to go for...
No, I see Petronas coming out. There is Eben.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
well
within his range.
He kicked one this far last week, a matter of fact, for a field goal. Winning points it was for Eben last week.
Well, this is good practice for your field goal team.
Doty will have the snap. The hole will come from Petronas at the 25. Nelson will attempt the 35-yard extra point. And now Canyon runs into the offensive line of Stephenville.
That's 5 yards back, thank you.
That'll help Stephenville. And so instead of a 35-yard extra point, this will now be a 30-yard extra point. This has kind of been a weird extra point.
Yeah.
Offsides is against Canyon, the call. So they'll spot the ball down around the 13-yard line. Eben will put the tee down just inside the 20-yard line. Boy, this drive took longer than the extra point. I mean, the extra point's taking longer than their drive.
Good point.
Petronas getting ready. Snap back to him. Hold down. Kick is on the way. Plenty of boot on this one. It is up, and it is good. Welcome back. 8:03 to go in the contest. 14-3. Stephenville. Johnny, the last scoring drive. Excuse me, second quarter.
Five plays went 10 yards. It took a minute and two. Hunter on that 2-yard run. PAT good. That scoring drive brought to you by Walmart Vision Center.
Stephenville's offsides on the kick, returning it at the 15, then fumbling it finally for Canyon and being tackled at the 19-yard line is Eddie Madej in the tailback, but I think Stephenville will be forced to kick this one again.
I'm telling you, they could throw that flag on every kickoff.
Well, I think the only reason they did is because Stephenville may have been 4 yards offside.
Well, yeah. But I mean, you could.
Sure.
You could throw it every time. I think Canyon just take the ball right here, don't you?
Let's wait and see.
Well, they might not. They may want to kick it again.
Let's wait and see what the Canyon coaching staff has decided. They'll trot the the kick return team back out, and Stephenville will be forced to kick off again, this time from the 35.
Well, you know, the last 2 times they've got it at the, they got it at the 30 the first time in the punt.
Well, we don't want that streak to end at the 31 or 32-yard line each time.
Yeah, good point.
Hey, some other scores from around the state earlier today here in the Peacock scoreboard. Texas City 45, Alice nothing. They will advance to the state championship in Class 4A Division I against Hereford, who beat Waco Midway 32-17. I heard that game is going to be at Floyd Casey in Waco, and if you think about it, from Hereford to Texas City is on the coast below Houston. Hereford, well, that's way up in the panhandle. That's a long distance between two teams, and Waco probably in the middle.
Waco's about 3.5 hours from Texas City.
And how far is that from Hereford?
About 9 days. You got to get a visa to come down there. I'm telling you, it's way up there.
We'll give you some more scores we have from Class 4A as soon as
probably 7 hours.
The kick. Oh. Notice they didn't flip that one home and home.
I guess not. They must have lost.
Virgin has come into the game, so expect the pooch kick. It is high pooch to the near side. Will be fair caught at the 41-yard line by Bronson Stewart.
Oh, one of the upbacks went up and was going to try to block Scott Lee. Needless to say, he lost that battle. That was 22 Zach Blades, 5'9", 170-pounder. Scott just hammered him at the 40-yard line.
On the bottom side of Division II, as you heard earlier last night, Fort Neches Groves beat Lamarck 22-6. They will play Schertz Clements, who beat San Marcos 21-13. Running the option, handoff straight ahead, Cleet Andrews. Andrews on the fullback dive out to the 49-yard line, a gain of 8 on the play. Also some other scores. Ennis beats Greenville 31-8. The winner of this game gets that game next week. South Grand Prairie comes back in a shocker, if you will, to beat Abilene. Abilene was not the favorite in that game, but a shocker because Abilene, with 5 minutes to go in the game, had a 13-point lead. Second down and 2 for the Canyon Eagles. Straight ahead to Cleet Andrews, but flags down, and I believe the left side of the Canyon offensive line fired off. And
Butch, you're talking about those wins for Schertz Clemens and Port Neches Grove. You know, the last 3 years they've been ranked in the top 10, both those teams, and they've never gotten by either Lamarck or Cal Allen. Now there seems to be, at least for this year, a changing of the guard in the semifinals, and one of those teams is going to come out. They were state ranked. Ennis was not state ranked. So if Stephenville can win this game, advance, there will only be of the 4 teams, 2 teams that or 3 teams that are state ranked, only 1 team that isn't. And Ennis has got a good football team.
We'll tell you more about them as this game goes on. The ball is marched back 5 yards with a penalty. 2nd down and 7 coming up. Cleet Andrews, hard running fullback, gets to the 50-yard line, a gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Make it even 6 on the carry.
Man, he is a tough load there. Cleet Andrews, 6 foot, 190-pound junior. Man, when he gets up in there between the guards, he just lowers his head and lets you have it. And it's been some pretty big hits already with that interior of both those lines.
3rd down and less than 1 for the Eagles, just inside Stephenville territory at the 50. Giving the ball once again to Cleet Andrews. He's stacked up after a 2-yard gain. It is enough for the first, however. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the 48-yard line of Stephenville. 6:29 to go here in the Cook Lumber 2nd quarter. Stephenville 14, Canyon 3.
Big game going on down in the Southeastern Conference in that championship game. 7:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. Alabama 12, Florida 7. Of course, Nebraska defeated Texas today 22-6.
Once again, Cleet Andrews, the fullback, on the stray dive up the middle, gets to the 44-yard line, a gain of 3. It is 2nd down and 7.
Coach Briles was exactly right. If they get 3 yards, the whole side will stand up and cheer. That's exactly what's happening every time. He gets, well, he got 4 that time, so it was a real big cheer.
Ross, is this offense anything like Nebraska?
Probably. Except they hadn't fumbled yet.
By design, maybe. The results are a little different.
By design. At least they're not fumbling.
Yeah.
Play action. May looking to throw. He'll have to escape. He's down to the 43 inside the 40. Makes a Stephenville defender miss. Cuts back to the 35 and is hammered under at the 32-yard line. A pickup of about 12 yards on the scamper by Anthony May, the senior quarterback, and a 1st down.
Looked like Kendal Briles out there running around, going back and forth. Was that Harmon that finally made the tackle? Yeah, it was. Clayton looks a little...
And Clayton's a little hurt right now.
He looks maybe winded more than anything else.
Well, he's letting that right arm dangle a little bit.
Yeah.
Ken Howell comes into the ball game.
They bring Scott out. That's what they've been doing the last couple of weeks, you recall, when they're in a running situation.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line of Stephenville are the Canyon Eagles. Once again, Cleet Andrews will take the handoff. He'll go 3 to 4 yards. It's 2nd down and 6. And my goodness, this offense.
Yeah, this is, they've already used close to 3 minutes on this drive, Boots. And
if you watch this offense every Friday night as a fan,
I think I'd watch it like every other Friday night. I'd get pretty bored. If it was real cold, I wouldn't like it.
4:55 and counting in the Cook Lumber 2nd quarter. 2nd down and 6 for Canyon at the Stephenville 28-yard line. May this time handoff to his tailback, but he is tackled immediately as he got 2 yards, maybe, probably closer to 1, and it'll set up 3rd down and a long 4 needed for the Eagles. Coming up quickly was Scott, and Feltz was coming up from a strong safety position with Monk in there as well.
4:30 to go in the half. Stephenville up by 11. But Canyon very methodical going down the field.
Methodical. There's the word I was looking for. 3rd down and 4. May under center. I formation behind him. Split receivers both sides. Hand off again to Medallion straight up the middle, and he will get 2 yards. It'll be 4th down and about 1.5 yards needed.
I'm glad I found it for you.
Because the word I was thinking of starts with a B.
Boring?
Thank you.
Okay. Well, now, do they kick here or do they go for it?
4th and 1.5 yards.
They got further to go this time than they did last time.
I don't think they're kicking the 40-yarder.
I think you got to go for it.
But you know, 1.5 yards to them is no big deal. They do it on every play. May under center, 4th and 1.5 yards. The Eagles go for it. Hand off to the fullback, Cleet Andrews. He powers his way to the 21-yard line. He was stopped momentarily, but kept his forward progress to the 21, which was enough for the first before he was driven back to the 25.
Man, he is strong. He got some great leg drive, doesn't he?
The only problem for Canyon, there's 3.5 minutes remaining. The ball's at the 21-yard line of Stephenville. I don't know if they have enough time to score in this offense.
I think you're right, Boots. They may need to do a little play action here. Well, they bring Jeff Scott out again, put Ken Howell back in.
Once again, May is under center in the I formation now. Motion to the near side.
Now they left early.
Pitch back is to Medallion. Medallion cuts up inside the 15, gets down to the 11-yard line. The first pitch we've seen in the game. Did you see motion on the line?
My gosh, the right guard was 2 yards down the field before they ever snapped the ball.
No penalty is called. It is 10 yards.
Jeez.
10 yards on the carry to the 11-yard line. First down for Canyon, just outside the 10-yard line it is on the spot. 3:15 and now counting in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14.
So they got enough time if they get it like that.
Canyon 3. I formation again. Giving to the fullback. He's hammered at the 9-yard line and then falls forward to the 8. Hitting him immediately was Ryan Harris. A gain of 2 on the play, and Harris is wobbling around.
Yeah, he took a lick. I think he's going to have to come out of the game.
Boy, either a stinger or he doesn't know where he is.
Craig Parks is leaving too.
Oh, and
Seems to be
he's limping on that knee. Boy, that is not a good sign for the Stephenville defense. Stephenville may have only 10 people on the field. Johnny, count it for me. Second down and 8.
No, they got 11.
May under center, running the option to the far side. Trying to cut up is May, but he'll pitch back. And then being tackled out of bounds at the 6-yard line is Medallion.
Oh,
and now a late flag, and this one may be hit out of bounds against Stephenville.
Good grief. That's a horrible penalty if it is. A tough penalty.
About 2 or 3 really awful things have happened against Stephenville in the last 30 seconds. That penalty and then 2 Stephenville defenders hurt. Craig Parks is standing on the sideline.
He was noticeably limping. I think they're trying to get Ryan Harris out of the game. And Silva just went in, so Harris is probably going to come out.
Somebody has to. There's 12 out there. Now Scott comes out of the game.
No, they're saying, Scott, get back in there. Now they get Ryan out.
Harris, but he looks all right to me right now.
He's going, what? I don't want to leave.
Anyway, the out-of-bounds penalty, personal foul against Stephenville will move the ball to the 3-yard line. It'll be first and goal to go for the Eagles at the Stephenville 3 with 2:26 to go in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville up by 11, 14-3. May under center. Giving the ball to Cleet Andrews. Cleet Andrews near the goal line. Does he get in? No spot yet. No spot. And they will spot him just outside the goal line.
They thought they scored, but they didn't.
Second and goal to go from
going to call a
outside the goal
timeout.
line. With 2:08 to conserve some clock for the offense, we'll take a timeout with them. Stephenville 14, Canyon 3. Back in 1 minute on KSTV. Second and goal to go for the Eagles as we come back from the timeout. Split receivers to both sides. I formation with Medallion at the I. May is under center with Andrews at the fullback. Andrews over the top, touchdown. Canyon has pulled within 5 with the extra point upcoming. 14-9 now at the 2:03 mark.
Well, that was quite a drive. 18 plays. We'll give you the complete numbers for you in a minute, but that's exactly what they want to do. Just put you to sleep with that offense. And keep it away from the other team's offense.
Getting set to kick the extra point is Anthony May. Hold down, kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. Getting set to kick off for Andrews is May. Johnny, the last scoring drive?
16 plays, 59 yards, took 5:57. Andrews on the 1-yard run. It makes it 14-10. Stephenville, that scoring summary brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance.
After this kick, we'll go to Steve Ross, who have an explanation on possibly what happened with all the confusion in the defense and then what Coach Copeland had to say as his troops came off the field.
We probably need to check on the health of some of our players as well.
Exactly. Deep end-over-end kick will be taken by Hunter in the end zone, gives the ball to Feltz, but fakes giving the ball to Feltz, and he'll be tackled at the 15-yard line. Steve Ross, let's go to you on the sideline. What can you give us?
Orthopedic injury update news is good. Craig Parks is okay. He just got his knee banged. He really didn't even come out. Ryan Harris looked like he got a stinger on his left shoulder. He'll be back in there, too. He's okay. And then Coach Copeland told his defense pretty much, we got to quit relaxing, guys, when we get a lead.
Any explanation for all the confusion there at the end?
Well, it's a big stadium, Boots.
Oh, gosh, that's the worst answer.
Well, I think it was just that we had some guys hurt and they were trying to get them in and out.
I agree.
That's an excellent explanation. I'll go with that.
All right, thank you, Stevie. 1st and 10 for the Jackets. Their own 15-yard line. Briles, straight drop, looking to throw. Has Bashaw open, clearing at the 40-yard line. Catch at the 50-yard line and tackled right there. A hookup of 35 yards, and Stephenville has it 1st and 10 in Canyon territory at the 49.
Give him almost 36. 36, yeah, they are going to mark it 49. Man, was he wide open. 2 big catches now in the game for Josh.
1:45 to go here in the Cook Lumber second quarter. 14-10, Stephenville on top of Canyon. Stephenville with 2 timeouts remaining.
That's why they called the timeout when Andrews didn't score a moment ago on that little dive play.
Trips to the near side, 2 receivers far side. No huddle for Stephenville as Briles will now signal the play at the line of scrimmage in shotgun. Briles awaiting the snap, back to him, setting up in the pocket. Flags come down. I think I saw some of the offensive linemen jump just a hair before the snap.
Bashaw left early in the slot on the far side. Are we supposed to say that?
Individual players?
Oh, well. Sorry.
We can go back to our theories from last week that players should have to raise their hand like in basketball when they have a foul.
A guy for Stephenville in the slot left early. We'll leave it at that. Just a little bit. It wasn't much.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Jackets at their own 46-yard line. And boy, Stephenville runs to the sideline to talk momentarily. Did they take the timeout, or did Canyon take the timeout?
Canyon. Alabama has just scored. It's now 15-7 with 2:40 to go in the third quarter. I'm losing my voice. You notice that?
Well, this is absolutely, would you guess, the coolest game of the year so far for Stephenville as far as temperature-wise?
Oh, yeah, temperature-wise.
Under 45 when the game kicked off. A lot of threat of rain coming into the week they felt Saturday night. Most of that was last night and then developed today to the east of the Metroplex. So it's been wonderful weather here in the Metroplex. We drive over here today early afternoon, couldn't even find a cloud.
I walked downstairs right before we went on the air just a moment ago, and it's cold down there.
It sure is. The wind is starting to whip around down there as well.
Outside the stadium, it's very cool.
1st and 15 for the Jackets, around 46. 1:25 to go in the half. Play action. Briles setting up in a bunch of trouble, but he'll flush to the far side. Has O'Neal. He dives, makes the catch at the 43-yard line.
It is a catch, but short of the first down.
Clock runs 1:16, and it will be it will be 2nd down and 4 for Stephenville. They will have to hustle by the time they snap the ball. We will be under a minute.
So he picks up 11 on that reception.
1:03 and still counting, trying to get the play in from the sideline. Trips to the far side, twins to the near side. Briles is in shotgun. 2nd down and 4. Briles on the straight ahead keeper by himself will not get quite enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1, and Stephenville will take a timeout with 46 seconds remaining. That is their 2nd timeout. Stephenville 14, Canyon 10. Back in 1 minute on KSTV.
Cook Lumber and Carpet.
Freeze it, play, 3rd down.
The first to find it, Dublin Dr. Pepper.
Welcome back on 3rd and 1. Stephenville gave the ball straight ahead to Haney. Haney's going to get a terrible spot.
Yeah, it is.
He was all the way down at the 37.5-yard line. They're going to spot him back
38.
outside the 39 is the spot, and I don't think it's enough for the first.
It's not. It's about a half yard short. So they're going to have to burn their last time out.
Oh.
Well, no, they may not because they're measuring. They'll hurry and get the play called.
Boy, what an awful spot.
Yeah, it wasn't that good, was it?
We're going.
About a half a yard, I think.
Stephenville will be a foot short of the yardage needed for the first. No, how about 3 inches on that awful spot? The officials on the sideline made their spot decision before the play was even over.
It looked to me like, like Haney had got down to about the 38. They're marking it just barely to the 39.
Well, Stephenville will go ahead and go for it on 4th. The good thing, as soon as they make the first, the clock will stop as they have to advance the chains. 38 seconds and counting now. Briles surges forward. He will get the first, and they will stop the clock inside the 38-yard line. Stephenville with 1 timeout here in the half. 33 seconds remaining in the Cook Lumber second quarter. Stephenville 14, Canyon 10.
Quickly, they get on offense.
Briles will send Hunter in motion to the far side. Snap back. Briles setting up, still looking. Now has an open receiver, but instead Briles will go out of bounds at the 32-yard line. He had what looked like Tate starting to clear at about the 15, but Briles elected to tuck it under. He had waited so long.
I think that was Gunn that they wanted. Gunn was clearing over the middle, but good coverage there by the safety.
A gain of about 6 to 7 on the play. It's at the 31-yard line.
You're close to field goal range for
Well, about another 5 to 10 yards, and I think you're easily within his range. 23 seconds left. The clock has stopped as Briles went out of bounds. Briles this time is under center. Hunter, the one back, goes in motion to the far side. Straight drop for Briles. Setting up, looking to throw across the middle, has Mackins high over his head.
Oh, that's
incomplete. It's got to be interference, but no call. As crawling over his back was Rusty Shorter.
My gosh, he got hit first.
We were told something before the game about this officiating crew, John.
Yeah, they won't throw a flag. They threw like 2 flags in the game last week. It's the same crew that did the Canyon Wichita Falls High game last week, and they let a lot of stuff go. They let something go there.
17 seconds left. 3rd and 4 for the Jackets. Briles in shotgun, trying to set up a screen, throwing up, has Mackins, caught, 25-20, makes the move, 15, down to the 14-yard line, 11, 10 seconds remaining as they stop the clock momentarily to set the change. Stephenville will spike the ball to stop it. Stephenville gets up under the football. Kendal takes the snap, or does he?
No.
Now he throws the ball down with 8 seconds left. Stephenville will have it 2nd down and 10 at the, what is it, the 14? Is that the official spot? It
Yes.
is the 14-yard line. A beautiful inside slant pattern, almost a screen the way it was set up because the throw was thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a play that I've seen Notre Dame run for years, that you get 2 or 3 guys blocked. I guess you get one shot at the end zone. Here's the big guys out at the top. Let's see if we can get it to him.
4 receivers far side. O'Neal to the near side by himself. Briles, straight drop. Looking to throw. Briles will throw out in the flats, and it's almost picked off. Kendal Briles with not a good decision. He thought about running, knew he'd be tackled with no time left, and so he just threw that one, but threw it right to Rusty Shorter. It went through his hands.
Little conversation to that regard.
It's normally it would be coach to quarterback. I have a feeling that one might be father to son.
It's coach to quarterback.
Canyon is taking the timeout with 3 seconds left as they'll try to ice Eben Nelson. We'll take a 30-second timeout as Stephenville will kick the field goal. We're back in 30 seconds. Down at the 21-yard line, this field goal upcoming will be longer than the extra point he had to kick a while ago.
And this will be the last play of the first half.
Nelson getting set as Doty will have the snap. Petronas will have the hold. Nelson waits. Snap back, hold down. Kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. One of the better spots on KSTV at this point. 3rd quarter about to get underway. It's brought to us by Texas Bank. Stephenville 17, Canyon Eagles 10. Canyon will be kicking off to start the 2nd half. Approaching the ball, Anthony May, and we are underway. Deep end-over-end kick will be taken by Zach Hunter, who gives the ball. Check that does not give the ball to Phelps. Clears his way out to the 30, up to the 35-yard line. And that's where Stephenville will begin 1st and 10th, their own 35.
Man, the Jackets are having fun on the kick returns, aren't they?
This is the first time all year we've got to play with the Starburst. And for those that, if you're just recently started following it, Stephenville has 4 people back. The closest man turns his back to the people coming downfield. And if the ball comes to him, then he fakes to 2 people running behind him and gives to the 3rd. Or the option is one of the 3 people get it, bring it to him, and then he hands it to somebody else. Or like Zach Hunter did that time, receive it deep, run by the dealer man, fake like you're giving it, and return it out to the 35. And that's what he did. 1st and 10 for the Jackets, their own 35. Play action, rolling out the flats. Now throwing the ball to Matkins. Matkins fakes to cut up at the 35. He will get nothing. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Stephenville.
Yeah, he gets back to the line of scrimmage. You're right. That was a play that just didn't develop quite as quickly as I think he would like for it to.
No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Jackets here in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Stephenville 17, Canyon 10.
You'd sure like to see Stephenville march down the field and score here, wouldn't you?
Open the 3rd quarter.
Yep.
Briles is in shotgun. One back standing next to him. Snap back to Briles, running the option. He will cut it inside, out to the 40, gets away, 45, cuts back again up to the 48-yard line. A pickup of 13 for Kendal Briles. First down, Stephenville, and Stephenville has a quarterback of their own that can run pretty well.
Yeah, and, you know, he still had Zach out there trailing him that he could have pitched to, and it never was really an opportune time until it was about time for him to be tackled, and good decision by Kendal, just hang on to the football.
Trips to the near side, 2 receivers far side. No huddle offense for the Jackets. It's Briles stands in shotgun as he looks over to the sideline for the play, and now he signals out at the line of scrimmage. Briles will step up under center. Straight drop. Now throwing down the line of scrimmage. Matkins gets a block from O'Neal. Across the 45, down to the 41-yard line of Kenyon. Another first down, a pickup of 11 on that pass play.
Boy, you mentioned O'Neal's block. What a great block by Toby. And then Matkins just uses his speed, shoots between 2 defenders, and finally knocked down at the 41-yard line of Kenyon. And that 11-yard pickup, 3 plays, 2 first downs.
Jeremy Matkins with some big receptions today. Remember, he's the one that had the big one earlier to help keep a drive alive in the game so far. Matkins 4 catches, 39 yards. Rolling out to the far side, and a flag comes down, and no gain on the play is Briles.
Looked like maybe a face mask right there at the end on Kenyon.
Well, there weren't any blue jerseys to be guilty of holding in the area.
Yeah,
it is face mask against Kenyon. It is the 5-yard garden variety type. And so add 5 yards to the line of scrimmage where the play came to an end, and it'll set up first down and 5 at the 35-yard line of Kenyon.
Only the 3rd penalty in the game for Kenyon. They've played very good on defense and offense. Boy, they are a disciplined team, well coached, as Coach Briles said. Coming into this game, that's what they expected from the Eagles.
17-10, Stephenville on top of Kenyon here in the 3rd quarter. Briles in shotgun. Sends 4 receivers to the right side. 3 of those are a wing back. Briles rolling that way, throwing out in the flats. Great catch by Douglas. Douglas pulls it down at the 23-yard line. Another first down for Stephenville as he picks up about 12 yards on the reception. TJ had to extend all of his 6'5" frame to bring in that ball.
Well, that ball gets there in a hurry, doesn't it? I mean,
goes a nice tight spiral, does Kendal.
And that's what you've got to do when you're throwing in traffic like that. Get the ball there in a hurry, and he did just that.
First and 10 for the Jackets at the 23-yard line of Kenyon. Briles under center, 2 backs behind him. The tailback, Hunter, now goes in motion to the far side. Giving the ball straight ahead to Haney. Haney gets to the 20-yard line. A pickup of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, they...
well, it depends on it. Was it at the 23 or the 24 originally on the spot?
It really looks a little closer to the 24, doesn't it? They're going to say probably, statistically speaking, the 23.
Where he started. The ball is now on the 20-yard line strap, so 3.5 for Haney. Do with that what you want if you're keeping stats at home along with us.
We are good luck because we never get the spot right.
Briles is under center. Play action. Setting up in the pocket. Great protection. Throwing across the middle. TJ drops it at the 2-yard line. Oh, Douglas was open on a clearing route. He may not have scored because he was hit after he dropped the ball.
He'd have scored.
But it was very close. TJ had that one right in his hands. A great strike from Briles. He just didn't quite hold on to that one.
What a beautiful pass. It was a bullet. Now, I don't know. Does TJ have gloves on? He doesn't, does he? You know, that may start to become a factor because
it's cold at his head.
It's getting kind of cold down there on the field.
It's a good sign for your offensive line when your center is looking around and can't find anyone to block because everyone's blocked while your quarterback's in shotgun. Straight drop for Briles. Throwing across the middle. O'Neal catches at the 10, down to the 6, to the 5-yard line. He powers his way. First and goal to go for the Jackets after the 15-yard reception from Briles to O'Neal.
Man, I'm telling you, that was what a great drive by Toby. He probably should have been tackled at about the 12, and he just carried 2 guys down to about the 5. They're going to mark it at the 6, I think. Well,
predominantly all passing on this drive so far.
Well, that may predominantly change now.
Briles is under center, first and goal at the 6. Pitch to the near side as Hunter Zach cuts inside, gets down to the 3-yard line, a gain of about 3 on the play. Maybe a late hit. Boy, no flags are thrown, and there was a bunch of contact.
Kegan's got rolled up on his leg. Well, I was watching to see if he gets up, and he does. And that's the danger of trailing a guy.
Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal to go for the Jackets at the 3-yard line. Double tight end look with Sinotsky and Tate in the ball game now.
Well, Zach just waited for Kegan's throw a block. He did, and he just squirted underneath everybody.
2 backs behind Briles under center. They are Haney and Hunter. Briles giving to Haney. Haney will get to the 2-yard line. Gain of 1 on the play. It will be 3rd and goal to go for the Jackets at the 2.
Impressive drive here to start the second half. This is exactly what you want your team to do. Notice also the clock, it just went under 8 minutes, so it's a long drive too for Stephenville.
17-10, Stephenville on top of Canyon. 3rd and goal for the Jackets at the Canyon 2-yard line. 7:47 to go in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Handoff over the left side. Walker skies over the top. Touchdown. At the 7:41 mark of the Texas Bank 3rd quarter, Stephenville extends 23-10 with the extra point upcoming. If the extra point is good, it will be the most number of points scored on Canyon this year.
Boy, David Walker lived up to his nickname on that one, didn't he? Skywalker. He jumped. He jumped from about the 4-yard line.
I was waiting for credit on that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. Even Patronus Haney trot out onto the field. Haney lines up as a left wing back. Patronus the holder. Eben Nelson getting set for the extra point. Doty will have the snap. Snap back. Pull down. Kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. "39 yards of the 65-yard drive for Stephenville were through the air to extend the lead." Johnny, the scoring drive?
11 plays, 65 yards, took 4:08 off the clock. Walker on the 2-yard run. PAT good, makes it 24-10. Scored summary brought to you by Barnes and McCullough.
Harris end over end kick will come at about the 20-yard line, up to the 25, out to the 30-yard line is the return man, Matt Thompson, who had a little bit of difficulty pulling that one in.
That was a good catch. Hey, with that first score here in the second half, a generous donation will be made to Project Hope. Brought on behalf of Cheatham and Lansford CPAs, we thank them for that.
1st and 10 for the Canyon Eagles at their own 30-yard line. Boy, that's been a familiar place for them on the field starting drives.
By the way, Boots, this is our Rent City quarter right here.
All right, Anthony May is under center. Getting the ball straight ahead to Cleet Andrews, who will power his way forward for about 3 yards to the 33-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
And our contestant is from Dublin, Donna Matthews. So good luck, Donna.
You would wonder, if you're in the second half of the state quarterfinals and you're trailing by 14 points and you're very at ease with just getting 3 and 4 yards at a chunk, handing the ball off straight up the middle, would you change anything?
Not yet, I don't think. Still a lot of time left in this game. 19 minutes.
Well, so far in the second half, they've shown they're not with the fullback dive. Once again, Anthony May under center running the option. May cuts up, lots of running room outside the 40, 45, and is tackled at the 45-yard line, a pickup of 11. Steve Trey Feltz is in a lot of pain as he is limping noticeably and will have to come to the sideline. Strong safety, 6 foot, 180-pound senior, and that would be the 3rd defensive player we've seen come out of the game with injury so far. Steve Ross will get near him to find out what the scenario is with that injury. Richie Patronus will go out and will handle the strong safety duties. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 46-yard line. May again under center, I formation behind him. Split receivers both sides, giving the ball to Cleet Andrews. He'll go forward for 3 yards.
And then just belted. He got into the middle of the line.
2nd down and 7 for Canyon. Boy, with this offense, the clock does run, doesn't it? Now under 6:18 and counting in the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Stephenville 24, Canyon 10.
Boy, that is not a pretty sight over there on the bench. That offensive line sitting there with those blonde heads.
Boy, it's almost blinding, isn't it? They've all bleached their head. It's almost come out light orange, if you will.
It sure has.
May under center again, giving it to the second man through, Medallion. Medallion gets stopped momentarily, but keeps his feet churning and gets into Stephenville territory and down to the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a long yard needed for the Eagles.
So far, it hadn't been a whole lot of a problem for Canyon here late in the game. Now they'll take Patronus out and, like they were doing earlier, bring Ken Howe in and go to that 6-man front on an obvious running down here.
3rd down and 1 for the Eagles. They have to get almost to the 44-yard line. Cleet Andrews will stumble his way for a first down to about the 43-yard line. He was hit at the line of scrimmage. Boy, as now Gordon Carroll is limping noticeably on that defensive front.
He's the one that reached out and grabbed Andrews as he came across, and he's trying to walk off whatever happened to him. Boy, he's limping noticeably. Stephenville Yellow Jackets starting to get banged up here in this game now.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. After this play, we'll go to Stevie after this play. 1st and 10 for Canyon, 43-yard line of Stephenville. Medallion trying to cut to the outside. He does. Gets by one tackle, but not the second. That is the tackle of Harris. Coming up on a free safety blitz was Gunn. He had a chance to get him, but Harris finishes him off after a 4-yard gain. Steve Ross, help us with an injury report.
Well, I do have a Cross Timbers orthopedic injury update from Dr. Jim Herbertson. Looks like Trey Phelps has strained his medial collateral ligament in his right knee. We're not sure yet if he's going to be able to go back in or not. You see him laying on the training table now. It's going to kind of depend on when he gets up and tests it in a few minutes, how it feels and how much pain there is if he's able to go on it.
Gordon Carroll has just taken himself out of the ball game. Steve will have to run over there and check that as well. 2nd down and 6, giving it to Cleet Andrews. He powers his way for a first down inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line.
And they had to help Gordon Carroll to the side.
Right, and Stephenville's defense is so beat up right now. Just the power straight ahead offense of Canyon is starting to take its toll on the Jacket front. Yeah, Gordon Carroll had to be helped off the field as they start to attend to him now.
They look like they're taping his right leg to me over here on the bench. So maybe just an ankle situation they're working on.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. Stephenville leading 24-10 at the 4:11 mark at the 28-yard line. Quarterback keeper May gets down to the 24-yard line. He was hit immediately. Was it by Gunn?
I think it was.
No.
Once again, Ryan.
Boy, it's hard to see what number. 30. That's Monty Derrick. Derrick has come into the ball game and taken the place of Gordon Carroll. That's been the replacement. He had a nice hit there. Only a 3-yard gain for May.
Hal came back out. Now Petronas back into the lineup.
2nd down and 7 for Canyon to the Stephenville 24. Giving it to Cleet Andrews, who will get no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7, and Scott Lee was in there quickly with Harmon.
Boy, they stuffed that one. That one never had a chance as he was stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and that's what you want for your defense. 3rd and long. And I think with 3 minutes, and it'll be around 3 minutes when they snap this ball to go in the 3rd quarter, down 2 touchdowns, they got to be in 4-down territory here.
Chance in the 3rd quarter that Stephenville will only see the ball offensively once. May, strike drop, looking to throw. Across the middle, has an open receiver just out of his outstretched arms, and he was open. With the coverage for the Jackets was Jeff Scott, but he was a solid yard behind the intended receiver, Nathan Stevens. If it had been a better pass, it had been 1st and goal inside the 5. That was Turner throwing the football. Number 7, Derek Turner, threw the football. That's right, it was number 7 throwing the football. We'll wait and see. Is May out of the ball game? No, May's back in. It is 4th and 7, and Canyon will go for it at the 24-yard line of Stephenville. Straight drop. May looking to throw, still looking. He will be swarmed under and sacked back at the 28-yard line, a loss of 2. Cal Gilson is credited with the sack as he knocked May off his feet, and the ball will turn over on downs.
And Cal slow getting up.
Boy, and they're having to help Cal Gilson to the sideline now. Boy, and that's like a right arm or right shoulder, it's looking like.
Well,
and Harris is having to help him out, who had to bring himself out of the game earlier.
Well, he just lowered his body and knocked May backwards those 4 yards he lost, and he probably got some kind of a stinger as well. I think Steve has a report for us. Let's go to him after this play, Boots.
Gordon Carroll and both Felts are being worked on.
They may have to call the MASH unit here in a moment.
Pitching out to the near side is Zach Hunter. Hunter gets around the corner, 25, 30, busts his way to the 35-yard line as he runs over.
Great block.
Rusty Shorter.
Great block by Derek Haney to get him around the corner. Let's go down to Steve on the sideline. Steve?
All right, I have a Cross Timbers Orthopedics injury update on Gordon Carroll now. He has an ice pack on his left knee. He subluxed his patella, which means kind of turned the kneecap around a little bit. Now, there's no ligament damage. He could be back, too. They say that long-term, the prognosis is great on that. It's just that this is something that is excruciatingly painful, and it's going to depend on how he feels.
Handoff over the left side. First down for Sky Walker as he gets to the 38-yard line. There was a fumble on the play, or was he ruled down? He was ruled down at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, a long time before that ever happened. Hey, we have a final in the SEC championship game. Alabama wins over Florida 34-7. Man.
Boy, and that'll drop them in the BCS rankings. And boy, whatever bowl game they were looking to put them in.
Wasn't that the 3-4 matchup with Tennessee?
Could have been. Rossi, do you know the answer to that question?
I think it was a 3-4 matchup.
I want those two teams to play again, so it was going to be Nebraska either against Tennessee or Florida, so it'll probably be Tennessee.
Hey, Steve Ross having to cheer against his two favorite teams. Deep pass for O'Neal, up and just off his fingertips at the 32-yard line. Yeah, that's Steve Ross's two favorite teams. He's the biggest homer I know because whichever team wins that week, that's who he cheers for. Well, Stevie, who are you cheering for this coming week if that's the two games in the bowl game?
Hey, my blood runs deep red, boys.
All right.
All right, so now we can find out what the deal is.
Until Burnt Orange gets ahead, then
Yes.
then it's Burnt Orange.
And he'll have an excuse. Second down and 10 for the Jackets. O'Neal kind of stopped running a little bit on that route. I don't know if he expected Kendal to throw it that deep.
I noticed Dr. Herbertson talking with Steve. We might go back to him here in just a moment.
Second down and 10. Briles on a naked bootleg. Will try to get to the corner, and he does. 40, 45, 50, the sideline 40, run out of bounds. That's a 33-yard line. As he ran over the man that got run over by Zach earlier, Rusty Shorter. Briles just lowered his shoulder and took him out again.
Good grief. That was rough. He's like, what did I do? Is that 30 yards?
30 yards on the carry.
Man, he's wondering, what did I do to you? Kendal, you know, a lot of times quarterbacks will go out of bounds. No, he just lowered his shoulder and ran over the safety.
Well, Cal
I
Gilson.
think Canyon's going to have to call timeout.
Cal Gilson's not receiving any medical attention on the sideline. That is a good sign. Boy, Canyon was have to take a timeout. All the momentum going against them. We'll take one with them. 24-10, Stephenville on top. Back in 1 minute on KSTV. Welcome back. Some technical troubles, but we are back live again here at Texas Stadium. John Hollinger, Boots Elliott. First and 10 for the Jackets after that Canyon timeout. The ball is at the 32-yard line of Canyon. 2:02 to go in the Texas Bank third quarter. 24-10, Stephenville on top. Briles in shotgun. Straight drop for him. Setting up, still looking, throwing across the middle, high over the head and almost intercepted. Matkins was the intended receiver. He was open at the 15. It sailed over his head, and Derek Turner almost made the pick at the 10. It'll be second down and 10.
That looked like one that just kind of sailed on Kendal. As you said, Matkins was wide open down 15, just a little too tall.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, this now is the most points that Canyon has given up this year, and we still have a fourth quarter and 2 minutes to play. Pitch back to Hunter. Hunter to the outside. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Zach Levitt. Stephenville extends 30-10 with the extra point upcoming.
Number 21 for Canyon. Rusty Shorter should have made the tackle about the 24. He reached and grabbed, and number 10 was not there.
By him.
32 yards on the scamper for Zach.
Stephenville getting set now for the extra point. Eben Nelson awaits. Snap from Doty. Petronas hold. Nelson's kick on the way is up and good. Welcome back. Ryan Harris getting set to kick off with the Jackets, who lead by 21. Johnny, the last scoring drive.
6 plays, 74 yards. Only took a minute and 4 seconds. Hunter on that 32-yard run. PAT good by Nelson. 31-10, Stephenville. Now on top. That scored summary brought to you by the Walmart Vision Center. Man, they are scoring quick tonight.
Harris getting set to kick off with May back deep. End over end kick that will be taken at the 1-yard line. To the 10, 15, across the 20, coming to the near sideline, finds a seam that has run out of bounds at the 33-yard line. It was not May. They put in a different return man deep. It was Eddie Madej in the tailback.
You know, this victory by Stephenville in the quarterfinals is what? Am I too early?
Johnny.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway.
You're the same man that jinxed a field goal kicker from getting the state record a few years ago.
If Stephenville goes ahead and wins this game, it won't come without a price, though. There's been some players who nicked
I
up
agree.
in this game.
Definitely wondering what the status is on a lot of the players. Hand off to Cleet Andrews.
You can have all that you want, Cleet.
Cleet Andrews will get to the 39-yard line, a pick up of 5 on the play. Well, Feltz is still on the training bench. I have a feeling he will stay there for the rest of the game. Now, Gordon Carroll, he is not seated or on any of the training benches anymore. I know he's probably not in the game. We'll try to find him. He's on the sideline. No, it's a different person. We'll get to that in just a moment. Hand off to Medallion up from the tailback. He'll get to the 45-yard line, a gain of 5, maybe 6 on the play, and it's a first down for Canyon. You're trailing by 21 points with a quarter and a minute to go, and you're still happy running it between the tackles.
Well, I don't know if you're happy, but that's about what you can do.
I cannot find Gordon Carroll on the sideline.
Well,
I do now. He is seated on the bench. Long ways down just to our bench. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 45-yard line. Hand off to Cleet Andrews, who hops 3 times to the 50-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play.
Notice what we've done here. We've gone basically to a 3-man front with 2 stand-ups, and the 3 men are Parks with Scott Lee in the middle, and Harmon was on the left side that time. And then
stand-up backers
would be Hal, is that one?
And Derek is one as well.
Now they bring Scott Lee out, and they have regular formation.
2nd down and 5. Handoff once again to Cleet Andrews. He'll go for 1 yard. Maybe that will be it. It'll be 3rd and 4.5 needed for the Eagles just across the 50-yard line into Stephenville territory. That will do it for the end of the Texas Bank 3rd quarter. Our score, Stephenville 31, Canyon 10. Third down and 4 for the Canyon Eagles as we begin the Techstar Ford 4th quarter. Canyon must get to the Stephenville 45-yard line. May is under center, the 2 backs behind him. Pitch to Medallion. Medallion trying to get to the corner. He'll be stopped by Gilson and run over at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, and he's mad at himself.
Boy, closing speed by Gilson just annihilated Medallion, and it'll be 4th down. I think if Medallion had kept running, he would have at least had a chance, but Gilson really showed some closing speed.
You know, to show you the contrast, Stephenville runs that play. 32, Derek Haney's out there lead block, kicks out, and Zach either goes inside or out. Monk just shoots in and takes the lead blocker out
In the backfield.
and they don't get the first down.
Running the fake is Canyon. Canyon will pitch back and then throw across the field, and it's caught at the 40, and it's a first down. Stephenville was perfectly defending it, but jumped in the air too soon, and by the time they came to the ground, the ball went over their hands, and it was caught for a first down, but there is a flag down.
And that's going to be against Canyon. Grady Gunn standing there with his hands on his hips. He's mad at himself. He went for the pick. Ball went over his head.
He just mistimed his jump. If he does not mistime the jump on the pass,
he picks it and goes.
Yes, 2 weeks in a row.
They had lineman downfield. That's going to come back. Well, that's costly.
The ball was snapped to the up back, who then turned around and pitched it to
if you're
Hunter,
the
Derek
coach,
Turner, who then threw it all the way back across the field.
If you're the coach for Canyon, you get over in the huddle and go, who goes downfield? You know what the play is. Nobody leaves yet. Oh, I mean, there's no way you have to leave.
Well, I bet this 4th down they don't throw any kind of razzle-dazzle. I bet they call football.
I would certainly hope they would.
Canyon getting set. We'll wait. Snap back this time is to Turner. Turner will get the kick away. Briles will get away from this football as it hits at the 30 and backs up to about the 33-yard line. And that's where Steve will begin 1st and 10 at their own 33. 11:02 to go in the Techstar Ford 4th quarter.
Right there.
Stephenville 31, Canyon 10.
Right here,
21 yards on the punt. It's good to see Harris is back in and healthy.
Yeah, no kidding. We need healthy soldiers out there right now.
Yeah, you can see the ice wrap on Feltz.
Where is he?
He
On the
is
bench.
on the training table, and with the offense that Stephenville will face, I'll go ahead and say it, next week, they're going to need all of their defensive backs ready.
Boy, you're not kidding.
Briles, play action, straight drop, sitting up in the pocket, throwing, caught by O'Neal across the 40, 45 to the 46-yard line, a gain of 11 and a first down for the Jackets.
Now Stephenville can just work on that offense, bust it down the field.
Kendal in the game so far is 14 out of 24 for 188 yards. First and 10 for the Jackets.
188.
Trips to the far side, twins to the near side. Briles is in shotgun as he looks for the play to be signaled in from the sideline. He now signals at the line of scrimmage. Kendal awaiting the snap, straight back to him, setting up in the pocket, throwing. Has Douglas, great catch, 45, escapes 40, down to the 38 to the 37-yard line. Boy, T.J. Douglas using hands the way you're supposed to catch the football, away from your body, catching it at the highest point you can. Another first down for Stephenville after the 17-yard reception.
Boy, they giving the Ennis coaches a little something to think about this week that's different from last week.
Boy, this is as sharp and as clicking as we have seen the Stephenville offense in quite some time, the way they played here in the second half.
Since Cleveland, really.
Had a good second half at some points in the Andrews game, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Briles is under center, trips to the far side, twins to the side. Throwing out the flats for Mackins, has two good blocks inside the 35, moved to the 30 inside, and the ball goes out of bounds.
He was already out.
At the 28-yard line. Let's wait on the spot. 29 is the spot, so a gain of 9 on the play.
You know, Canyon and their offense have really become their own worst enemy in this thing. We're 10 minutes to go in the ball game, so we've played, 14 minutes here in the second half? They've touched the ball twice and done nothing with it. Turned it over on downs both times.
Briles is under center with one back behind him. Inside trap, however, is to Walker, the wing back. He will be stood up at the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard on the play.
Well, can we blow a whistle sometime?
Third down at 2 as Briles, his quarterback, runs in there and tries to get a block at the end of that thing.
Man, they pushed him back. How far?
Now there's a Hurt Canyon player on the field.
Is that 51?
Dean Finch, defensive end, 6 foot, 190-pound junior.
I think he'll have to leave, yeah, because the official called timeout.
Third down and 2 for the Jackets, just inside the 30, and they need to get just inside the 28. 9:31 and counting here in the Techstar Ford fourth quarter. Stephenville 31, Canyon 10.
Stephenville with that opening drive, Boots goes 4 minutes to score on that. That was an impressive way to start the second half. Exactly what you wanted your team to do.
Briles under center, handoff over the left side. Walker gets close to the yardage line for the first. He does get the first to the 27-yard line. First and 10, Stephenville after the Walker carry. Now, Stephenville has scored on their opening 2 drives of the second half, correct?
Right.
They scored on their final drive of the half with the field goals.
Right.
What did they do on the previous drive? Because they're working on at least 4 consecutive scoring drives right now. We'll have to find out what they did on the drive previous to the field goals. First and 10 for the Jackets at the 27 of Ennis. Now under 9 minutes to go in the
Ennis,
contest.
You're a week ahead of yourself.
I'm already ready.
Canyon.
Excuse me. Briles in shotgun. Throwing across the middle. Has open. Avalos. Does he catch it? Caught, touchdown. Great diving catch in the end zone for Avalos. The hookup will go 27 yards and Stephenville extends 37-10 with the extra point coming. And not only a great diving catch, he was hit when he made the catch as well. A super performance.
Man, what a pass and what a catch.
Johnny, at the 29-yard line, Kegan's helmet and one of the defensive helmets of Canyon, their face mask have become intertwined and they can't get them apart, and both gentlemen have had to take their helmets off before they can get them separated.
They got him.
Aaron Collier, excuse me, it wasn't Kegan's.
27-yard pass, and it was a rocket that got launched into there.
5th consecutive scoring drive in the game for Stephenville. Eben Nelson trots out and puts the tee down the 10-yard, getting set for the extra point.
All 3 here in the second half.
Snap back, hold down, kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good.
Well, that scoring summary, 6 plays, 66 yards, only took 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Avalos on that 27-yard pass from Briles. The PAT was good. That makes it 38-10. That scoring summary brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Stephenville's offense has had 8 drives in the game. 6 of them went for scores. 5 in a row now.
Man, that's good.
Boy, you want your offense to get hot at the right time. Well,
and again, Canyons only touched the ball twice in the second half with 8:50 to go in the ballgame.
38-10 Stephenville. Once again, the most that Canyons ever given up this year, 23 points. Fair catch is made by Canyons' Antonio Bazaldua. And that's where they will begin after the kickoff at the 33-yard line. B-A-Z-A-L-D-U-A, Bazaldua.
Jay Roberts talking to Scott Lee after that play, and I'm sure Scott just said, yeah, 38-10. That's all we need to worry about here, boys.
First and 10 for Canyon at their own 34-yard line. Stephenville winning 38-10.
Stephenville scored on 6 of 8, is that
Yes.
what you said? Canyon has scored on 2 of 8 possessions in the ballgame.
Under center once again is Anthony May. Motion to the near side. I formation behind him. Double fake by May. Now he's scampering to the near side looking to throw, and he'll be dropped for about a yard loss at the 33-yard line. Well,
Was that
spot him,
Silva?
they'll spot him at the 34.
Silva in on that tackle.
Second and 10, no gain. 8:29 and counting here in the Techstar Ford fourth quarter. 38-10 Stephenville on top of Canyon.
Jesse Fanning now out of the game for no other reason than just a substitution.
And you may see a bunch of that. You will. At left side corner is Kyle Easter. We'll get to some of the other substitutions as we can. May is again under center. Straight drop for him. Looking to throw. Now he's being flushed to the far side. Being chased by Harrison. He escapes, comes to the near side. Now being chased by Derrick. Derrick will sack him all the way back at the 19-yard line. Monty Derrick with a 15-yard loss as he sacked May all the way back, and they'll spot it at the 18.
So make it 16 loss.
Yes.
Wow. Man, what a big hit, too. Monty Derrick just came in and just hit him with his body, and down he went.
Chad Hodges is also in the game. Making it was number 30, Monty Derrick. All right, it may have been number 40, Chad Hodges. 30 and 40, very similar looking.
From up here it is.
It is a 3rd down and 25. Straight drop for May. May in some trouble, and he'll be brought down at the 21-yard line.
And let's see if we can figure that out. Is that Howell that made that tackle?
No, Howell has been brought to the bench. He is being looked at the training staff right now. Steve Ross will have to get a chance to go over and look at that.
Man.
That's another defensive, one of the 13 or 14 guys that rotates in there on defense starters that is being hurt tonight for Stephenville. Punting now is Canyon. Stephenville doesn't even send anyone back. They let it hit the 40. It rolls to about the 38-yard line before it will be killed. 40 yards on the punt, and Stephenville will start 1st and 10 right there. Boy, Howell is on the sideline with some of the defensive coaches just kind of patting him on the back as he's leaned over. He may have just gotten his bell rung seriously. Steve over there talking to some of the medical personnel right now.
Well, bells are probably ringing for him as well, if that is the case. Well, I think you'll see some different guys out there on offense.
Coming into quarterback right now is Kelvin Cobb, the freshman.
Especially the way things have been going injury-wise. Man.
Your running backs will be Wooten and Walker. Tight end look, double tight end look with a wing back. Handoff over the left side is Wooten. Wooten gets to the 44-yard line. Hard running for him of about 5 yards. 6:30 and counting here in the fourth quarter.
And going to number 38.
Well, this is a big win for Stephenville in as much as the offense has really looked good and the defense has looked as well. They've really complimented one another tonight in this ball game.
Credit Wooten with 6 yards on that carry.
And all of this taking place at 10:30 at night, by the way.
Well, we've almost caught up the entire gap of the first two. Wooten trying to get to the outside. He'll be stopped before he can get to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Stephenville. Well, you're right, because the way that works is if each game is supposed to last a certain amount of time and you get the next one off in 3 hours, you'd expect this one to be somewhere normally scheduled over around 10. Well, we're going to be over around 10:45, and this game was an hour and a half late starting.
Yeah. It went pretty quick. It's only been just over 2 hours in running. Hal is up walking around, by the way.
Handoff straight up the middle. No, check that Cobb on a keeper. And now flags come down. The play was whistled dead before it started. Well, they took a long time to whistle that play dead.
Cobb was nearly to the sideline.
Yeah, Cobb had a chance to fake the dive and then turn the corner and was looking to make the pitch before they finally whistled. It is, boy, the referee is coming over to Briles to talk to him about something.
What did you say? Good game, Coach.
I'm not going to see you afterwards. Well, what is the status? Still waiting for the official. Not going to get, they blew it dead, but don't call a flag. And now nobody really knows what to do.
I think maybe the play wasn't ready to be, well, no. Are they going to penalize it? No. I don't think they were ready for the play to start.
So they were whistled.
Yeah, no play at all.
Wait till we get ready, boys. Well, you got a second offensive unit in there pretty fired up, ready to snap the ball and go. 3rd down and 5 for the Jackets. Cobb under center, running the option. Trying to escape, gets to the 45, after the 47, the 48-yard line. The freshman quarterback extends and gets close to the yardage needed for the first.
It's a nice little run.
Stephenville coaching staff making their way down out of the booth, having a good time. And we'll wait. They're going to measure.
By the way, we gave away a VCR tonight.
We haven't given up any points in the second half.
That's right. So congratulations, Donna Matthews. She picks up that VCR from Rent City. 3rd quarter was our quarter to try to give one of those away, and we did.
Do you remember how short the last measurement was for Stephenville when the guy said like 3 or 4 inches?
Yeah.
This time he just showed to the Stephenville staff even smaller than that.
Oh, my goodness.
So if he must be able to about slide a credit card in between the football and the first down marker, and that's how much Stephenville is short. Not at the 49-yard line.
One of my credit cards, maybe. Not yours.
Oh, please.
Are we talking about cards or bills? Maybe it's a different deal. Then we'll flip-flop it.
Goodness gracious.
Hey, welcome to the married world, brother.
Boy, now my wife's going to eat me alive when I get home.
Oh, I don't know anything. Just making stuff up as we go.
Goodness gracious.
I don't know.
Stephenville will go for it. Cobb is under center, handing off to the left side. Wooten gets the first down as he powers into Canyon territory at about the 49-yard line.
Well, I got to send out a lot of credit to our man Ross down there on the sideline because
Rossi still down there?
It's cold down there on the sideline. He's hanging with us.
I'm here, boys.
So, can you give us a stats? Did Hal just get his bell rung? What happened on that scenario?
Well, he got banged up a little bit, but he seems to be moving okay. You know, he's had both knees operated on. But I think it's a case with all those defensive players where you're really not going to know their status till later in the week. Some of those guys will have to have MRIs and just see how sound they are and whether they can go in the semis.
Pitch to the near side, cutting up for Stephenville and getting to the 45-yard line was Gary Watson, a junior running back. Yeah, and it's a great point he makes, Steve does, because I don't know if Stephenville has faced an offense this year that whether they're tied, leading, trailing by 3 touchdowns, it doesn't matter. They're going to pound at you between the tackles. And I'm sure our front 7 just got a little bit worn down after seeing that continual pounding going on.
Well, and there's some guys that are really going to have to heal over the week, and there may be some that can't go. We'll just have to wait and see.
4:04 and counting. Cobb handing off to Wooten. Wooten gets inside the 40 to the 43-yard line, a gain of 2. It'll be about 3rd down and 3 coming up for Stephenville. Stephenville leading Canyon 38-10 with now under 4 minutes and counting in the Tech Star Ford 4th quarter.
Well, and they don't need but maybe this first down, and that'll be close to doing it. I don't think Canyon's going to stop the clock. I wouldn't think at this point. At least we certainly hope not.
3rd down 3 coming up for Stephenville.
A lot of people starting to leave now from both sides, and who can blame them?
Cobb is under center, 2 backs behind him. Running the option, giving it straight ahead to Walker. Walker will get to about the 40-yard line. He'll be, about 1.5 feet, 2 foot short of the yardage needed. It'll be 4th down, and, well, if you went for it a while ago in less than 1, why not do it again?
Yeah, I think I'd go right back to that same play, either Wooten or Walker, either one. Just bang it up there in the middle, because Canyon is, they're tired and they're done. They're ready for this game to be over at the 3-minute mark.
Kenyon has had, is that 3 drives in the second half?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Hand off to Wooten. Wooten will get the first down as he gets to the 38-yard line, and that means in the entire second half, Kenyon only touched the ball 3 times.
Went for it on 4th down, remember, early.
Went over on downs.
And then punted.
Twice.
And then punted again, yeah. And Stephenville this is their 4th drive. They scored on the first 3. In the last 5, did you say, in a row?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably not going to score here unless one of the backs happens to break something.
Kenyon only have the ball for just a little over 8 minutes in the second half.
And they totally dominated the clock in the first half. And we're only down 7 points.
Cobb pitching back to Wooten. Wooten cutting inside to the 35, gets down to the 34-yard line. A pickup of about 5 yards, maybe to the 33.
We need one more first down, and that'll do it.
Number 19 with the tackle.
The official does his work here. We may not even need that. He milked quite a bit there.
Yep. Under 2 minutes as the Jackets snap the ball again. 2nd down and 4 up for Stephenville. The ball is spotted at the 33-yard line. Well, what we're going to try to do after this play, I'll describe that as far as letting you know where the time and site will be for next week. Walker will go to about the 32, maybe the 31. It'll be 3rd down. Nothing has been decided before the game. Ennis and Stephenville coaching staff will get together immediately after this ball game. So I'll go down and get my interview with Coach Briles, and then I will try to peel off and see if I can get with the coaching staff while they get together. Johnny and Steve will try to hang with you as long as they can to see if they will give an announcement. Then I'll radio that up to the guys, and they can present it ahead to you. If not, Shane back on the board may have to stay on a little longer tonight.
Not that it hadn't been long enough already.
And he's not happy about that. Cobb on a keeper will be tackled for about a yard loss. It'll set up 4th down and 4, and Canyon's going to take a timeout. 1:02, 1 minute remaining in the Techstar Ford 4th quarter, 38-10. Stephenville will take a 30-second timeout. We're back right after this. 4 yards needed for Stephenville. 4th down at the 32. They must get to the 28. Stephenville will go for it. Cobb is under center. Pitch to the near side is Wooten. Wooten will cut at the 30, get to the 29, be just a yard short of the yardage needed for the first, and so the ball will turn over on downs to Canyon. So they will get their 4th possession of the second half tonight.
And the Stephenville string of scoring consecutive drives ends at 5. And so that means they go 3 of 6 in the first half, 3 of 4 in the second half, so score on 6
of 9 drives.
Of 10 drives.
Excuse me, 10.
I'll take 60% scoring, won't you?
Well, and most of the time that's a touchdown, so you're talking about at least 40 points.
Yeah.
55 seconds remaining. Canyon trots out onto the field. 1st and 10 for them at their own 29-yard line. May is under center with 2 backs behind him. Straight drop for May. May throwing out in the flats. Has his receiver. It's caught at the 35 and dropped at the 36-yard line. Making the catch is Matt Burns.
Gee, why don't you guys burn a timeout right quick? No, they're not going to. Now you might as well work on your 2-minute offense for next year, I guess.
2nd down and 3. 30 seconds and counting in the contest. Split receivers both sides. Straight drop again for May. May throwing out in the flats. Caught by Burns and then hammered by Petronas at the 39-yard line. Very close to the yardage needed for the first.
We got it.
Well, Stephenville fans, in the last 2 weeks,
we're going to have to measure with 18 seconds.
If you've thought that the last 2 offenses we have played have not been that wide open and as exciting as opposition, wait till next week. Ennis comes into the game.
Oh, they're going to bring the chains in.
With a quarterback that stays in shotgun the majority of the game, 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. They're an explosive offense, are the Ennis Lions, who happen to also be same mascot of somebody who's also maroon and white. Yeah, so is Ennis.
The maroon and white have lines on their chest, lines on their helmet,
And you
And
know,
their fight song is the Aggie fight song.
it's hullabaloo, connect.
If that's not enough to make you mad, what will? That ought to get you fired up when you see that on film.
But, I'm guessing that talking with the coaches beforehand, it's either going to be here or in Waco. Waco's a little bit of a long shot now.
Why?
Well, just because the coaches said that they're going to be gathering here at Texas Stadium to make the decision, so I'm sure the Texas Stadium officials will be right there saying, hey, how about us? In some trouble is May, and he'll be sacked back at the 35-yard line. First man there for the sack. We'll wait till they unpile.
Don't call a timeout.
I believe it is Joe Luna and Nathan Wilson will get the credit. Time expires here in the Techstar Ford fourth quarter. Stephenville victorious. They advance to the semifinals. Stephenville 38, Canyon 10.